Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another Steven Universe review. In this episode, we're taking a look at Season 5, Episode 25, Legs from Here to Homeworld. Be prepared. Because I'm just gonna say it, screw it. I don't like this episode. I had to be said, I don't think this is a good episode. I think it has some logistical problems that really hold the episode back. There is some really good content in the episode, and it does some really interesting things, and it has some really interesting implications. But the actual episode itself, and the structure of the episode, I don't think that is good. Especially coming off the back of Reunited, which was an amazing episode, and also it looked like it was building up to something, and now we're just rushing straight into it. I would have liked some more room to breathe, and I'll get into it. Let's just get started. So it starts off with Blue basically hugging Steven almost to death because she thinks he's one of them, and that's adorable. No matter what shit I have about this episode, Blue Diamond's amazing. Blue Diamond, really, every time she says anything, it's great. I still love Blue Diamond, one of my favorite characters, and this just shows it. I'm so glad she's getting a happy ending. I'm so glad. It appears as if things are going to go right for her, even though based on what happens in this episode, it could go any number of ways. So from there, Yellow tries to get their ship working, can't. He's like, why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you say anything when we went to trial? The war was 6,000 years ago. You could have said anything. And Steven admits that he didn't know. He doesn't have Pink or Rose's memories. And it was a secret to everybody. And I like, Yellow has a great line here, which is something I've always wondered about. She says that his memories are in there somewheres. Which, yeah, I always figured they're going to come back. He's going to get Pink and Rose's memories. He's going to go inside of his gym and talk to Pink/Rose. That's going to happen at some point. Guaranteed. I think we all kind of know it's going to happen. It's just a question of when, and I'm glad they confirmed it. But Blue asks, oh, why didn't we shot the planet with a laser? Why didn't it destroy you? And Steven reveals the corrupted gems, which they had no idea about. Now, my guess for why they didn't know about the corrupted gems, why they didn't obliterate them, and what they lead here is the reason why the gems weren't destroyed and only corrupted is because they only had 3 of the diamonds. If they had all 4 of the diamonds, it probably would have destroyed every gem. But because Pink wasn't there, they didn't have the full effect. That's my guess, because as we see them heal Nephrite, and this is something that's really cool. I actually really like how they do it, because Yellow heals the body, Blue heals the mind, and then Steven heals the soul. That's really neat. I like how they show it, each of their powers. I like how they each work. It's great. It's the best moment. Well, I say it's the best moment in the episode, but some people are gonna say no, that's something coming. But I love it. But it doesn't hold because they need White Diamond to do it. Corruption was caused by 3 diamonds, but they're gonna need all 4 to heal it. And Blue's like, Yellow. Blue and Yellow actually take up an interest because they easily slip back into the parent role. Blue's still the caring parent. She's just happy Pink is back. And Yellow's fallen right back into her strict parent routine. She's disappointed in Pink. She's upset in Pink. But she's still trying to help against what is probably in her mind her better judgment. It's the interesting character dynamic. I'm all aboard for it. But they say the only way to solve this would be with White Diamond. And Pearl says White Diamond isn't like any of us. White Diamond is this whole complete foreign entity. We know nothing about White Diamond. And even Blue and Yellow are scared of her. They're building up White Diamond as this intimidating threat. But they have no way to escape Earth. And then they bring up the pink pyramids, remember, from Line 4, the episode that was wholeheartedly pointless. And I still think it's pointless. But this is not a bad way to do it, right? Oh, the two things. I think we talked about this in the Reunited review, the hour and a half long one. How the pink things in the desert were Pink's leg ship, right? Because blue and yellow are the arms, pink is the legs, and as we see later on, White Diamond's ship is the torso and head. Okay, that makes perfect sense. It's an I'd love to see them. What is it? Is it Gundam or is it Voltron? Maybe both. That would be cool, but it's not going to happen in the imminent future. But they get ready to sail off. Everyone says their goodbye. And Bismuth admits that no, she's not going up there with the diamonds. She's staying here. Completely understand. And she says that she has to be home when they reform. Because Peridot and Lapis haven't reformed yet. Which makes me think that we're going to get another... Remember the new crystal gems? Back in, what was it, season 4? We're going to get another episode like that with Peridot, Lapis, and Bismuth, and that's the episode in which we're going to see Bismuth and Lapis clash about Bismuth poofing Lapis. Mark my words. And then Steven takes off in the ship, and there's a great line here that I also really like, where it's like, oh, Steven says, oh, Mom was probably more graceful taking off, and Pearl admits, no, she wasn't. It's a great little line that I think really makes it. And then as they're flying to Homeworld, Steven asks, oh, should he have brought a gift, right? He wants to make a good first impression. And Yolo's like, there's no way this doesn't end bad. And because the fact that they spent 600 years, right? 6,000, I mean, doing nothing, it makes them a galactic embarrassment. Which, galactic embarrassment, that gives me the idea. The way she words it leads me to imply that they're not the only spacefaring race out there. There are other spacefaring races. I know a lot of people always talk about Sneeple. The real enemy, the end game enemy, is going to be Sneeple. I think it's stupid, but something about this line does actually kind of give it credit. I hope it doesn't happen. I still think, much like Jasper's corruption a few seasons back, I think it's a stupid idea, so that means it's going to happen. Disappointing. But we see Homeworld, and I like the rings, and I like how it's destroyed. It's almost as if it's cut in half, and right, it's shifting off its axes. It's a really nice design. I do like it. But they arrive on Homeworld, and there's this big gathering that, right, with the colors of all of the gems. We see White Diamond's ship in the background. It's really cool, and yeah, it's all these gems greeting Pink, which I'm assuming they called ahead to tell White Diamond Pink was coming back. Either that, or there are some interesting implications. Did White know? I doubt it. But who knows with this show? It's interesting. And then we see White Pearl, who I also kind of like the design too. I like the buns, and the most interesting thing is the cracks. Because gems are, right, they're perfect. We don't really see flaws in them unless the gem's cracked or they're corrupted. So to see a pearl with cracks, that's really interesting. It leads me to a theory I had a long time ago about how gems, right, they're batteries. They have so much energy, but because they don't need to eat, sleep, or any of that. But much like a battery, they'd eventually run out. What if White's pearl is running out of energy, and that's why she's cracking? That's my guess, but it could go either way. We see White Diamond. This was something, I said this in the Reunited video. I didn't expect this to happen for at least a year. I wasn't expecting to see White Diamond until January, and it's been 2 weeks, and we've seen White Diamond, and I really like her design. I like the dress, but the most interesting fact is that unlike the other diamonds where they're clearly defined, and she is, it's as if she's made of light. You see some more defined, like she has shoes, you can better see her feet, but her actual face is it's as if it's made of light. We haven't seen anything like that in the show. It's really interesting, and it really does lead to what they say. White Diamond isn't like anyone else. She isn't like any of the diamonds. It's a fascinating design. I love it. And I also realized, isn't White Diamond's gem supposed to be in her head? You can't even see it. But she tells Pink that, oh, she's happy to see her again. I said before I was expecting White Diamond to be an old lady. I'm kind of wrong. We need to see more of her before I fully give in. But she's a lot, I'm going to use the word nicer than I expected, but it could be, if you ever seen real anger is not right yelling and screaming. Real anger is when you're quiet. When you're just so mad you can't speak because you know if you say anything you're going to throw a punch, right? That's real anger. And that could be White Diamond here. She's so angry, she's calm. And she sends Pink to her room. Presumably, it's a pink room with bubbles. That makes sense. And that's where she sends Steven, because none of the other diamonds are there. And that's where the episode ends. And seeing Pink Diamond is cool. I think that is very anticlimactic. I don't like how it just ends here. Now, I will admit, I've been doing the rerun reviews. Horror Club just came out today. Go check out the Horror Club review. It's 6 minutes. It's one of the most interesting reviews I've ever done. But I've noticed redoing them all that some of the problems I had with early episodes don't hold up after the fact. Like, as future episodes come out, they retroactively make me like past episodes more. Rosa Scabbard is coming to mind, but I'll get to that in a different video. What I'm thinking is, even though I do think this is an anticlimactic ending, when future episodes do come out, when we do see future episodes, I think this may retroactively be fixed. Like, if this was a Steven bomb, and this was like the third episode in a Steven bomb, I would have probably liked it a lot more. It would have been a lot more interesting. But instead, they showed this episode off at Comic-Con, which, there's one more thing that got showed off at Comic-Con, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But it's an interesting place to show it, and I think showing it off at Comic-Con is really interesting. Because it's a very spectacle episode. Like, this does feel like a grand episode you'd show at, right? Like a big, like, convention. But it also, the fact that it had to be big gives me my other main problem with the episode. I've kind of alluded to, is that I feel this episode is rushed. I do not like the pacing in this episode. Like, we start off with blue and yellow, right? Oh, Pink's alive. Next thing, we're dealing with corruption. Next thing, we're going to Homeworld. Next thing, we're going to White Diamond. All in just 11 minutes. I wish it had some room to breathe. I would have, like I said, if this wasn't a Steven bomb, I would have loved for this to have been in the middle of a Steven bomb. We get the episode with blue and yellow at the beginning, where it's them just on Earth. Nothing really big happens besides for it's blue and yellow there. And then we get an episode that's talking about corruption, right? Dealing with that. And that episode ends with them going to Homeworld. And then the next episode is them getting to Homeworld, meeting White Diamond. And then, like, another 2 episodes after that or something. But I feel like they did so much in this episode, it just rushed. I want it to be longer. And that's my biggest problem. That's what disappoints me about this episode, is it doesn't have the room to breathe it needs. There are the fans out there who are like, oh, White Diamond, oh, that's all we needed. The fact that they can heal Centipedal, that's amazing. That's gonna be the episode for them. That's all they needed. But it's not that I wanted more. What we see here is cool. It's just I wanted more time. I wanted more, right? I want Yellow and Blue to see Earth. I want them to delve more into corruption, I guess. And before we end off, I do want to talk about the other thing that was announced at Comic-Con. While I have your attention, before you write your angry comment, or presumably you already have, let's end on something positive. The movie. This is really excited. You know the old saying, 6 seasons in a movie. Of course Steven Universe is getting a movie. It's not a theatrical release, which, I mean, God, they're getting Teen Titan Go a release. They could have given this a release. Actually, have you seen that? It has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It may not still, but I do think it's going to be good. Like, the more I saw of the trailer, the more I liked it. But besides the point. we see this red gym with we see all our characters, but we see this face, and my guess, if I'm just throwing out some wild speculation here, I see. Okay, so if Steven Universe is inspired by anime, and now from what I don't really know anime enough to tell you this for certain, but from what I've been told, anime movies are infamous for not being canon. An anime movie happens and the movie isn't canon. I don't know why, but that's how it works. That's what I feel like this might be doing. It may be a movie that's just a fun adventure. It's not canon. It's just doing, right, an adventure. And I also get looking at this villain design, I get it gives me a Snake People vibe. I know I talked about how Snake People are stupid, and I still think they are, but if this was the Snake People, that would be really interesting. I still don't want it. The other idea that I keep seeing thrown around is a red diamond, because red diamonds are the rarest diamonds, and it's shaped like a heart, crystal heart, all that jazz. Oh god, crystal heart. Yeah. But that's just some thoughts on it. I'm excited for the movie. Either way, it's really cool. I guess some of the, like Ian Jones Quartey? I don't remember his name. The guy who does OKKO came back to do the movie. That's really interesting, right? To see something big like this happen, to see the show's grown big enough to do it, I'm interested. I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. But now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go get in the fan for it, because I mean, God, I didn't like Now We're Only Falling Apart, and I got tons of shit for that. This is gonna be 1,000 times worse. I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.